is Louise Carden. Have you ever wondered if you were to hold a dinner party and you could invite whoever you wanted, living or dead, who would you invite? I had a little think about this and I came up with a list of 5 people that I'd be really interested to have at a dinner party. It's quite difficult to think whether you should have a group of people who you think will get on really well, or have a group of people who you think might have interesting discussions because perhaps they disagree. But in the end I decided to choose 4 women and 1 man who I think have quite a lot in common, although it may not be obvious at first. So my first dinner guest would be Emmeline Pankhurst. She was the leader of the British suffragette movement. Her campaign for votes for women was often criticised for being too militant, but her belief was that you should act with deeds, not with words. Time magazine in 1999 named her as one of the 100 most influential people of the 20th century. My second guest would be Elizabeth Garrett Anderson. She was the first English woman to qualify as a doctor, a physician and a surgeon, and she did that although it was incredibly difficult. It took her quite a long time to manage to get through all the qualifications she needed to do, and she set up a hospital for women and children which later became known as the Elizabeth Garrett Anderson Hospital for Women and Children. She was also the first dean of a British medical school, the first female doctor in France, the first female to be elected to a school board, and the first female mayor and magistrate in Britain. Her sister, in fact, was also a suffragette. Millicent Fawcett was quite a famous suffragette as well, so quite a feminist family she came from. My third guest would be Peace Pilgrim, who I've spoken about in an earlier video. In 1953, Mildred Norman, as she was known, gave up her name, called herself Peace Pilgrim, and spent the last 28 years of her life walking backwards and forwards across the United States, talking to people about world peace. In the 1950s, we forget really how terrified people were of nuclear destruction, how Americans and Europeans were fearful all the time that one day a Russian nuclear bomb would come landing and obliterate us all. My fourth guest would be Marie Curie, a Polish woman who married a Frenchman, moved to Paris and worked for many years on radioactivity. She became the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. In 1903 she won the Nobel Prize for Physics with her husband Pierre and the French physicist Henri Becquerel, and in 1911 she won the prize for chemistry in her own right. Unfortunately, her long exposure to radioactivity did kill her in 1934, but she was very much a pioneer among women scientists. And then my fifth guest, I chose, although he is the only man in the group, but I think he will fit in wonderfully with this group. He is still living and he is the 14th Dalai Lama. He has famously said that he believes that Western women will be the saving of the world. A big thing to live up to, but I feel sure that he would really love to be in the company of these 4 other women from a bygone era, but women who really put women's education and the role women play in society into play. And without them, we would not be where we are today. So that's my thoughts on my ideal guests for a dinner party. You can find out more of my views on life, the universe and everything at my website www.louisecarden.com, on my Facebook page, which is Tranquility Now, or you can look at some of my other videos on the YouTube channel.